This is the first installment of WideOut Wednesdays with the WideOut crew, myself, Coach Ruben. Coach Jalen will be with us as well. He's not with us today, but just wanted to start this podcast to help with, athletes, coaches, wideouts specifically, and just the game, becoming better wideouts, becoming better coaches, developers of the position, really just improving the overall just aspect of the position and how we're going about it. So I know there's a lot of different, um, you know, media outlets and content creators and trainers and coaches with different philosophies, but it's just a place where we can all come together and just break it all down and make it simple, because that's what it's all about in my opinion. So, we'll do this every Wednesday. We post it on YouTube, post it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those places where you get your podcast from. So definitely be in tune for that. And yeah, I'm just super excited to get this show going and see where it goes. So definitely have a lot of guests on from athletes, coaches, other trainers, just anyone that we think can help elevate the position and help give you guys the game. So really today, I just wanted to get together, keep it short, and just talk about, obviously it's February, we're in the off season, and guys are, planning, their training sessions and getting ready for the next upcoming season and evaluating what went right, what went wrong in the last season. So I just really want to talk about, how important it is to really game plan for, your training. You're not just going out there and doing whatever. As a coach, a trainer, wideout crew, I think it's super important to really map out, why we're doing what we're doing, and how we're going to do it and when we're going to do it, and not just kind of showing up, all right, here's what we're going to do today. I think you need to have a plan for the guys you're working with, wideouts that, you're playing now. You need to have a plan for what you need to work on in the off season, what things you need to get better at. I think, there's sort of a disservice when you just kind of go random and, all right, today I'm going to work on, route running. All right, today I'm going to work on catching. Good in theory, but you get to camp, you get to, first game, and you're like, man, I really didn't focus on X, Y, or Z, whether it be releases or catching or route running. And then you figure out that's what I need to work on, but now you're in the middle of the season, it's too late. So I just want to walk through kind of how we do it at the Wideout Crew, how we go about our training. This is our first year going on a full off season. So our program is going from January to June. And we pretty mapped it out all the way from January 1 all the way to the end of June, leading up into fall camps and training camps and things of that nature. So just even looking at this, so how we mapped it out, January, and I'm pulling it up on my iPad right now so I can really walk through this for you guys. So let's go up here and find it. So how we structured it, January is really for just a lot of reps, a lot of load, and correction. So we're introducing, eye and hand placement. How does that need to look? We're introducing where does your body position need to be. We're emphasizing, the route stem, entry and exit points, really breaking that stuff down to square one and really starting to show our guys, here's how it needs to be done. Here's why we're doing it this way. And here are the things that we're going to do on a smaller scale, so that way when we put it all together, it makes sense why we're doing those things on the front end. So that's kind of our January, is kind of from eye and hand placement to foot placement to body position focus to route stem focus, entry and exit break focus, correcting just bad habits and bad mechanics that you already do have coming into it, and then just identifying what kind of wideout are you. Are you a deep threat, vertical threat, take the top off guy? Are you a chain mover, slot machine, shiftier kind of slot guy? Just figuring out what you are, and then that helps you to focus on strengths and weaknesses, and really, especially for our high school guys, really mastering that focus, so that way that's what pops out on film. But knowing that I need to work on other stuff to be a well-rounded wideout, and that kind of puts me in a different category, elite category. So that's January. February is kind of muscle memory, so we're taking all the stuff that we did in January, the square one stuff, applying good habits and principles. And we're kind of just enhancing it even more, putting more stuff together, and really creating that muscle memory of like, all right, like we understand why we're doing it. All right, let's keep doing it over and over again. Let's see the good reps, let's see the bad reps, but let's try to get that muscle memory of the good reps going. So that's what February is. March is, all right, we kind of know what we need to do. We know why we need to do it. Let's go out and demo. Let's fail a ton. Let's run full speed routes. Let's, put some DBs in front of you. Let's, put it all together and see kind of what body of work has happened between January and February. And it gives you a real sense of, where you've improved and where you still need to improve. So really, we're just trying to, develop those skills from those previous phases and challenging you through, that month, and putting you into a variety of situations to ensure that your mechanics do hold up. And we're challenging you mentally and physically as well with a lot of reps in game-like scenarios, whether it's 1-on-1, 2-on-2s, maybe 7-on-7s. You play 7-on-7, just to ensure that you believe and trust in those mechanics that you worked on for the last 2 months. So that's kind of the first 3 months, and you can kind of see just even in talking about these 3 months, like I don't think a lot of people are going about their training in that amount of detail, with a plan of action of like, here's what we're doing in January, here's what we're doing in February, here's what we're doing in March, and here's why, and let's put it all together. So I think if you are working with someone, challenge them to come up with something that is coherent, that is building on something, so that way you can see improvement over time, and you're not just showing up and, we're doing routes today, or we're doing footwork today, or we're doing whatever today. Find a plan, identify your weaknesses for one, identify your strengths, and then develop a plan to get mastery over those things, or to improve those things, get to a point where it is proficient, maybe not master, but proficient. So that's that. And then once we hit April, May, and June, it's kind of a repeat of those first 3 months. It's just kind of recorrecting again, increase the load, boom, a final correction again of, hey, we're still, we're not getting in our breaks correctly. We're not putting our feet right. We're not catching the ball with our eyes and tucking, little small stuff, just kind of recorrecting those things, making sure we get those final little tidbits and habits kind of really installed in the mind and in the body. And then June is like, hey, like, throw you in the fire again. We're tuning up for July. Obviously some recovery, obviously maybe some conditioning, and really just getting tuned up for live practices, live scrimmages and games that are coming up, once you get to the end of June and August with preseason. So that's really the full mapped out plan in a nutshell. Obviously there's a lot more, details that I'm not hitting on, but even wanted to look at just, our January session 1, and how we've kind of got it segmented is everything is segmented. We've got to focus every time we step on the field. We know what we're doing, why we're doing it. So looking at this, I'll pop it up on the screen. Obviously we got our warm up. So do this every day, every time, making sure our body's loose and warm. Very strategic about that. I'm a former track coach, former track guy myself. So I really put a lot of thought into that and some research as well. And understanding what we're doing that session and how much we need to warm up. Obviously, if we're indoors, outdoors, it can vary. We have a hand-eye focus. I think that's the number one thing. Got to catch the ball. If you're not catching the ball consistently, what are you playing wide out for? Can't catch the ball. OC is calling run play. So that's my number one thing there. We always do that either beginning of the session or at the end. Kind of switch it up or throw it in the middle. Just depends on how I'm feeling. To kind of keep guys on their toes and making sure mechanics holding up there. Usually we have a hand combat and footwork focus, so focusing on foot rhythm as relates to releases, as it relates to just getting in and out of breaks, just getting those feet right, getting those hands right, everything kind of coordinating together. And then a stem focus, so focusing on pushing off the ball vertical. Whether we're diving, spray releases, kind of working all that stuff, maybe in tandem with some footwork and releases, maybe in tandem with some break work, but just really focusing on that. Every route I run is vertical, so really just almost focusing on that. So on this example, run out count, so being able to count your steps and understanding where you end up on the field. So if coach says, run a 10-yard curl and you're on the 43, you don't have to count yard lines. All right, my 6th step, I should be at 10 yards. I know I need to take 2 more to get to 12, push back to 10. Little stuff like that, I think goes a long way. And just even maintaining forward body lean, the illusion of I'm running the go ball, it pays off when trying to create separation at tops of routes. And then obviously, I think, we have the break focus period. I think that's big. So that 100 drops period. And so the whole focus was, hey, we're getting 100 drops in, whether it's 45 drops, 90 drops, 180s, and really just honing in on details on that between foot placement, body position, and entry points and exit points, and knowing where we need to be, how we need to get there, whether we start off stationary or we get into moving, and just really getting a lot of reps. So that this particular session, we got 100 reps in, took about 25 minutes. So that's just kind of an overview. Like every session is segmented just like that, just like a practice essentially. So all this to say, I mean, we're doing all this, like this is going to pay dividends once you get to the season. Once you get into a practice environment, like you're used to, all right, boom, I'm here, here. Because those practices, you got periods, it's segmented out. So just getting guys familiar with that, getting guys familiar with hitting, on each kind of part of their game, whether it's the release, the stem, the break, the finish, and kind of putting it all together. So I think it's just creating a full curriculum for your guys. And if you're not training with someone, creating a curriculum for yourself. If you need help with that, definitely reach out. Definitely happy to help, whether you're a trainer, coach, or an athlete. Obviously, if you want to get enrolled in our program this off season, obviously it's February, you got time. Definitely, get in contact with us at the WideOut Crew. You can, email us at coachrgb@wideoutcrew.com for more info. Obviously, we're putting all this stuff, online and in our app as well. So we've got some virtual options as well if you're not in our area. So that's just a little bit of what we do, and I hope this is helpful as you're getting ready for the off season and starting to work out. So obviously, it's this is what I love to do, and definitely want to keep spreading any knowledge I have and learning too. So definitely look forward to continuing to do more episodes, getting other coaches and trainers on, athletes as well. So definitely hit us up if you want to get on and talk with us. But with all that saying, we'll get out of here and I'll let you guys go. But we always break it down on two. So WideOut Crew on two, 1, 2, WideOut Crew. Peace.